This is Carita Parks with Bowie TV. Welcome to the Ravens Rundown. As the Baltimore Ravens wrap up their last 2 days of training camp practice before they head to Green Bay for joint practices and their final preseason game on Saturday. Coach Harbaugh said the practices this week are focused on two things. Of course, getting ready for Green Bay, but also looking ahead to week 1 as they kick off the NFL season on a Thursday against the Kansas City Chiefs. In addition to that, we did hear from Coach Harbaugh about the starting offensive line. That's been a question all training camp. And so far, there hasn't been a decisive answer. And Coach Harbaugh, once again, he said he's not ready to make that decision and that the game against Green Bay will be very important in that decision-making process, as well as finalizing some of these other roster spots. We also got an update on Mark Andrews, who was in a car accident last week. Coach Harbaugh said he's okay and he will travel to Green Bay with the team. He also said that the mindset of both teams is going to be really important to making the most out of these joint practices. Here's more from Coach Harbaugh.
The mindset of the two teams is the most important thing. If both teams come in with the same idea, that they're two good football teams are trying to take advantage of the opportunity to practice against another good football team and get a good football practice in, that's what you want. If a team's coming in like they're trying to prove something, some junior high thing, then it's usually not good. So we're excited to go against Green Bay. We think they're that kind of a group, a good football team, right there, almost in the AFC Championship game, proven team. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to go practice against those guys.
Someone else who is looking forward to joint practices is quarterback Lamar Jackson. He has not taken a snap in the preseason, which is not unusual. Most of the starters have not. That's something that Coach Harbaugh has done for the past couple of years. But he's looking forward to the competitiveness and seeing his teammates against another team, especially that first team offense. Here's what Lamar Jackson had to say about competing in Green Bay.
Some competitiveness. I'm just not going against my guys each and every day. Finally get to go against someone else, and especially that I'm not playing preseason. Just great to see how we are against other opponents.
Lamar Jackson also had a solid practice with his receivers, particularly Rashad Bateman, who's been in and out of training camp, nursing a rib injury, but he was a full participant, and Lamar Jackson connected with him on a 65-plus yard pass downfield that Bateman successfully hauled in, but they connected a couple of times today, so they continue to work on that chemistry. He also had a really nice pass to Isaiah Likely, which they've been on fire all training camp as well. But we've talked to Lamar a lot about his receivers, especially Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. But I asked him about his relationship with Nelson Aguilar, because if we remember from last season, it was really him and Nelson Aguilar who had some very early season success, and we're continuing to see them get closer as this season ramps up. Here's what Lamar Jackson had to say about Aguilar, who he refers to as Big Bro.
Speak a little bit on how your relationship with Nelson Aguilar has progressed. Like, you spent some time in the offseason working together. See you constantly communicating at practice. So what do you think you guys can do this year?
Man, we're going to be better than last year. I felt like our chemistry last year was pretty good as well. But that's just all my receivers. I'm always trying to get our chemistry down. Tight ends, running backs, it don't matter, because those guys who are out there with me, so it don't really matter. But Nelly, he big bro, so just trying to get a little knowledge from him and stuff like that.
One other point I want to make before the Ravens get into their joint practices is on that offensive line, we did see Nick Samick take some first team reps, and John Harbaugh, he has some nice words as it relates to Samick. This is the first time that I've seen Samick take those first team reps. Don't want to read into it too much because roster cuts are coming up, so maybe they want to get a better look at him. But either way, it is something to keep an eye on in the preseason game on Saturday against Green Bay. This is Carita Parks. That has been your Ravens Rundown. Be sure to follow Bowie TV for all your Ravens content. at Bowie TV Sports on all platforms.
Two things, pointed towards Green Bay, but we're also pointed toward the opener in Kansas City. What questions do you have?
John, I mean, you've done this in the past, not having Lamar take any preseason reps the past couple of years, and it's actually worked out pretty well. How do you try to get, I mean, is it just the practice, the joint practices, what do you think really helps him get ready for the season when he's not getting those preseason reps?
Well, we want to start the season off well. I mean, we want to put our best foot forward right out of the gates as much as we can. It's hard to do. There's no guarantee you're going to do that. There's a lot of question marks to that every year. We have done well over the years doing that because, I mean, we practice well. It comes down to practice. I mean, practice is what makes it. Preseason games don't make or break you that way. It's the practices that make you, because that's what you stack. There's advantages to practicing. You see teams do it, like the Chiefs, for instance. They've always done it, all the way back to Andy in '99. They've always done it. And then, we've done it for a while, and we haven't done it the last few years. So I think you can do it either way, and that's the way we're doing it this year.
Going back to Saturday night, Atlanta in that first half ran as many boots as I've ever seen. Can you give us a little bit of insight into the relationship between you and Zach and what you're talking about in terms of trying to get that stop as you see it play after play this?
Yeah, I mean, the boots really weren't a problem. It was the zone play actions with the deep over routes that gave us some trouble off the play action, mostly in the second half, really. But those deep over routes, those what we call burner routes with a top off or a clear out route on top of it. That's just execution in terms of getting our linebackers popped out underneath there or a nickel. We were in zone on a few of those, and that's tough on zone, plus getting to the quarterback. But it's just more about right now, it's less about scheme and more about calling our basic defense and having our guys execute them and be physical and see who can play and where we need to work. That's really what it's more about in the preseason than trying to stop something with some kind of a scheme. Doesn't mean you don't get mad. When you do, you get upset. I mean, we want everything stopped. We don't want the ball to be run on us, ever. That's probably our biggest thing. And but right now, we're also trying to get guys ready to play and see who can play.
John, you'd said, ideally you would like to have the offensive line figured out, the open spots after the first few weeks at camp. How close are you to making that decision? How much more do you need to see, particularly with the joint practice of the last year?
I think we're close. I think we have a pretty good idea what way it's trending in different areas. It's not altogether solidified, but we're in a good place right now.
Coach, with all this training camp, 2 preseason games, obviously, probably it's difficult for you to make a decision with running backs, the backfield, and wide receivers. Is it a good problem to have to make this final decision?
You talking about like the last few roster spots? Yeah, I mean, you want to have guys competing for those last few spots. You certainly don't want to be scouring the waiver wire. You want to have guys here that you want to keep on the team, and you want to have a few more than you might be able to keep on the team. That'd definitely be the idea. So we're probably in that situation, but still, there's guys who have something to prove still. And this last week, Green Bay practice, Green Bay game is going to matter.
John, what have you learned over the years in the joint practices to get the best and most out of them?
Yeah, I mean,
several times now.
The mindset of the two teams is the most important thing. If both teams come in with the same idea, that they're two good football teams are trying to take advantage of the opportunity to practice against another good football team and get a good football practice in, that's what you want. If a team's coming in like they're trying to prove something, some junior high thing, then it's usually not good. So we're excited to go against Green Bay. We think they're that kind of a group, a good football team, right there, almost in the AFC Championship game, proven team. So we're looking forward to that opportunity to go and practice against those guys.
John, we haven't asked about Tyler Lamar a bit. Is he progressing well? How's that going?
Yeah, he's right on schedule, just kind of where we were planning. He won't be any kind of contact work this week, but he's in all the ACT practices that we do. He's been doing all that, so he's in a good place.
John, we know you've designed new returns and coverage schemes and kickoffs. How much, if at all, have you incorporated defensive gapping principles and offensive blocking principles into that? And has it been more than the past?
Yeah. No more than the past. I mean, that's always been what you try to do. You just don't have to. The thing that's eliminated is the deep, long drop. So you're teaching basically where to get set up a lot more in the pass on the run. Now you basically stand there and you see the ball in the air, so it kind of gives you an idea what your geometry needs to be on the play. But it's always defensive gap principles and offensive scheme principles and then scheme fits. So it's not exactly like the offensive defense, but the principles are the same, to your point.
Coach, after Bo battled an injury in the spring, just through 2 preseason games, what have you seen from him so far in this training camp?
Bo Braid?
Bo Braid. What has stood out to you?
Yeah, I tell you, Bo is he has dealt with a few injuries, but quiet until we got him in the rookie skit. Then he wasn't quiet anymore. He's funny, so that was fun to see his personality even more. But yeah, he's stepped up. He's covered well, but he's also made some hits. That's what I've enjoyed seeing, both in defense and special teams.
Coach Nick Semak got some snaps today. Have you seen his development? Is he sort of a development guy, or is he sort of a viable option?
He made a big move this last week. He finally, I think his ankle's feeling better. Finally, had the ankle injury there, and he probably did hamper him up until now. And he played well in the game. He was stout at the point of attack, and had an opportunity because of Tyler not practicing, and we wanted to get Ben some reps at guard. He had an opportunity to get in there and do some stuff. So I thought he did a good job today, and he did a good job in the game.
Mark Andrews progressing okay?
Yeah, it's a very minor thing. Very minor thing. We're just not messing with him right now. Don't worry about Mark. It's gonna be fine.
Is he going with the team to Green Bay?
Yeah.
Any highlight from the?
I mean, I like it. I just said don't worry about it. It's like, no, you can't travel to Green Bay. That would be a problem. It's like a follow-up question. You should have been a prosecutor.
Not sure I would have won. Any highlights?
I would tell you got to go to law school. Though.
Any highlights from the sketches you can share
From
with
what?
us? From the rookie sketches you can share with us?
No, the guys though. You can ask the guys. Okay. Yeah, they could do better than I could. They were funny.
Should probably end it on that one.
Yeah, that's good.
When you hear about Mark Andrews and what comes out that he was involved in a car accident, what kind of goes through your head when you hear about that?
Is he all right? All type of things go through my head. Like, that's Mark Andrews. Just anybody, just being involved in an accident, especially if I know him. But he's good, and that's all that matters. God was with him. God always with him, and he's 100, and that's all that matters.
Hey, Lamar, we saw your excitement at Emory Jones' pass on the touchdown.
Yeah.
How confident makes you feel to come with this group of quarterbacks and big talented?
Man, it's great to see you, man. Especially not knowing what could happen on any given Sunday, any given play, and just to see a young guy just do what he did, it was amazing to see.
Lamar, both Tom Brady and Peyton Manning over the weekend named you as one of their top 5 quarterbacks that are
in the league right now.
That's crazy.
What's your reaction to that?
That's crazy. That's dope, man. Especially coming from those guys. The guys who's on top of the Mount Rushmore right now, for me at least, that's great. That's great to hear that from the GOATs, man.
Lamar, do you have any relationship with Jordan Love, and are you looking forward to seeing him in Green Bay this week?
No, I don't really have a relationship with him. I never met Jordan Love, but I'm looking forward to meeting him.
Lamar, how important are practice with Green Bay in a situation where a lot of you starters don't play at all in the preseason, and what do you hope to get out of it?
Some competitiveness. Just not going against my guys each and every day. Finally get to go against someone else, and especially that I'm not playing preseason. Just great to see how we are against other opponents.
Lamar, after the Houston Week 1 game last year, you kind of came out and said you had to knock off some of the rust. What are you doing this year that you think might make you maybe more ready to go or less rusty in that Week 1 game in Kansas City?
I think I wasn't hurt too when I came back. When I came back, I was like coming off an injury and everything, right?
Were you?
I'm asking you because I don't really remember. But, I believe that's why I was rusty. You know, I didn't play so long, and then I had to miss preseason and stuff. But I think I'll be good this go around, no doubt. I've been with my guys, you know, since day one, and we've been better at chemistry, and I feel like we've been looking pretty good. So I think I'll be ready.
Lamar, what do you think of camp?
What do you kind of address the progress of the offensive line? You know, there's a lot of new pieces in and out. How's it coming along from your vantage point? What do you see from how your offensive line is shaping up?
My guys are coming along very well. Young guys, very young group. I think this is probably the youngest group I've been a part of since I've been in the league. And guys are coming along well. You know, we got Ronnie at tackle, we got Tyler. Those guys are the leaders of the line right now. And we're just going to keep stacking and keep getting better.
Lamar, at the start of camp, you got a lot of questions about losing weight coming into training camp and all that. As you made your way through camp, is there a difference that you feel? Like, what is the biggest thing that stands out?
I got a lot more energy. I'm not fatigued as much. If I'm running like 30 yards down the field, I can come back and just be like me, like a robot, even though I'm not a robot. So I'm feeling good. I just feel better, a lot better.
Lamar, at this point in camp, are you kind of ready for the regular season, or do you still feel like you need stuff to work on or want to work on?
It's always things to work on. But I'm definitely ready for the season. You know, it's been a great off season for us, and tired of going against my guys. Looking forward to September 5th.
Lamar,
you mentioned about getting off to a fast start. Just the second year in Coach Bunker's offense, can you feel like the difference, and just how much do you feel like that's going to make from Week 1 a difference as opposed to last year? How you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, just me being a part of this system going into my second season, having a whole off season, and just building with our guys' chemistry and listening to the coach and seeing what his vision is for the offense. I feel like this year it'll be different going around.
Lamar, this is now the third day preseason. You're not going to take a snap. Are you comfortable with that, or is that still something you might want to I might have wanted to have a snap or two? Are you comfortable?
I'm very competitive, so sometimes I do. Like, man, I want to go play, but at the same time, I know our coach is keeping us off the field, and I'd rather just play regular season than just going out there and things happen.
Mark mentioned chemistry, and as you build that, do you want that? Is it look forward to testing that chemistry against another team? Because again, when they know your routes every day, is that really a key to figure out really where you are chemistry-wise going against the Packers?
Not necessarily, just seeing how my guys are against other opponents and not just going against the same guys over and over, because I believe our defense learn our tendencies and learn our moves, just going repetition each and every day, So just going against these guys, we'll see how guys are.
How much anticipation do you have for seeing Derrick debut? I mean, obviously we all know what he can do, but just seeing him go full contact.
I believe you guys looking forward to seeing Derrick instead of me, because y'all ask me about him every time I'm up here. But I'm definitely pumped up too, man. Just to see this guy do what he's been doing, since forever. I'm just ready. I'm just glad he's on our side this time, like I always tell y'all, and we're not going against him. But I'm ready. I'm hyped.
Lamar, we saw you leave for about 10 minutes, go and come back. Are you doing okay?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. I'm great.
Lamar, can you just speak a little bit on how your relationship with Nelson Aguilar has progressed? Like, you spent some time in the offseason working together. See you constantly communicating at practice. So what do you think you guys can do this year?
Man, we're going to be better than last year. I felt like our chemistry last year was pretty good as well. But that's just all my receivers. I'm always trying to get our chemistry down. Tight ends, running backs, it don't matter because those guys who are out there with me, so it don't really matter. But Nelly, he big bro, so just trying to get a little knowledge from him and stuff like that.
Lamar, you talked about going up against the defense. What's the number one thing that you've seen from this defense that you think will scare opposing offenses this year?
I don't know because like all 11 just great players. All around our defense is just so different, dynamic. I'm just glad I'm not going against them in real time. Just practice.
Lamar, you talked about being faster, being more elusive now at this lower weight. Do you feel that now? Have you felt that over the course of training camp?
Do I look it? Do I look it? I do. That's the answer.
Looks like someone took a chunk of your shirt.
Hey, last week one of the guys, I was running the ball through the hole or whatever, and the guy tried to pull me, and I just kept running. But I'm just gonna say a bear tried to fight me, and I won.
Do two more, please. Is it noticeable to you, like increased speed? Like if you're running faster, like do you pick up on that?
No, not really. I just gotta outrun my opponent, and I'm just cruising after that. I'm not really trying to do a 100-meter dash. I just beat whoever chases me. That's all.
Lamar's thought Josh Johnson completed every pass he threw last weekend.
That's expected from Josh.
Yeah, what is it like having someone with his experience level in the room?
That's definitely great. Actually, the first time Josh was here with us a couple years back, I was so hyped to have him, just from just learning and knowing the type of offenses he's been in, and just hearing him speak and how he learned ball and how he know ball. It's incredible for me to be in a room with a guy like him.
Just have appreciated the work ethic and the attention to detail. Guys being locked in all training camp every day. That's how you make progress. I feel like we've come a long way, but we got a long way to go. And the next part of this starts really right now. We'll go to Green Bay, do a nice practice against those guys, and then play the game, and then we'll be playing for real. So we're ready to go, and we'll see where it takes us. What questions do you have?
Coach, Charlie Kohler called a lot of balls today in practice. How do you see his development as a blocker, though?
He caught a lot of balls today, and he's a big target, obviously, as a pass catcher, but as a blocker, that's kind of where he's been focusing on. And he's developed quite nicely. I mean, you see him in the games. He's more physical than he's ever been. And we're going to find out because he's going to be out there blocking people. And I really have a lot of confidence in him. I think he's going to do really well.
David Ojabo getting that action on Saturday. When you go back and watch, what did you see from him, and kind of what were you expecting versus what you saw?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, I thought it was really good. I mean, I thought he was physical to a degree I maybe didn't. I was hoping for. I kind of expected him to play like that, but to see it out there the very first game was really neat because he wasn't tentative at all. He's in a good mindset. He was in a game day mindset. He hadn't played that much in the last couple of years, so that was quite a statement, I think, for him that way. Really, the way he's been practicing is the way he played, so that's what you want to see.
John, did you feel a need to sort of reach out extra and help him sort of keep his spirits up after he suffers another major injury in 2 years?
Last year, yeah, I did. Well, heck yeah. I mean, we've had, I can't tell you how many conversations that David and I have had that are just awesome conversations. About a lot of things. He's very smart. He's a very deep thinker, kind of a philosopher. He really is. And I learned a lot talking to him. And he's kept his head on straight. Keeps things in perspective. He's got a really strong family. And I don't know that I really had to say anything other than the fact that this kind of conversation is good sometimes. But he's been in a good place. I think he gets down because he wants to get out there and contribute. He wants to be a part of it. But he's excited to get going.
Do you feel you've made the necessary strides or the hopeful strides that you wanted from the beginning of training camp to where you're at right now?
I do. I do believe that we're in a good place right now, but this is a moving target. It's an always evolving type of a deal. It's like life. You never know what's going to come next, and we just have to respond as we go. But I do believe we're in about as good a place as we can be in right now for where we're at. The guys have done everything they can possibly do to be as far along as they can be, so I feel great about that as a coach.
It's been a few days now with George Warhop. What have you seen about the way that he's working with the guys, and just sometimes fresh eyes on the players offer a different perspective, maybe?
Sure. I mean, George is a very experienced coach. He and Joe go back a long way too. I think he's picked right up. to make it seamless, you have to be really good. To step into a role like this at this time is really hard. So you've got to be a high level coach, I think, to be able to do that. And that's why George Warhop was such an opportunity for us, such a blessing that was available. And I do believe it's a God thing, I really do. So it's going really well. The guys are responding really well to him. I think he understands exactly what we're trying to get done. I know he does. And he's doing a great job. And our prayers and thoughts are still with Joe D. I mean, Joe D is making good progress. From what I understand, talking to his daughters, texting his daughters on the phone, information that they're sharing, they're very encouraged by his progress. He's still got some work to do, but he's a fighter, man. There's nobody tougher than Joe D, and things are looking good lately.
John, I think your first year in Baltimore, you had Marshall Yonda as a second-year guy, Ben Grubbs as a second-year guy, Jason Brown stepping in as a rookie at center. Either from that experience or just over your years, what did you kind of learn about what it takes to kind of keep an even keel, but also usher in some of that development from young offensive lines?
Well, it's such a great point. You look back, and it's kind of the nature of what we do. You know, it's nice to have 22 starters out there that they've been playing, and they were all great players, and you knew how they were going to play, and they were kind of self-sufficient and proven guys. But that's never the case, right? I'm excited about these guys. And the exciting thing about that kind of a situation is that the upside is something that you kind of lean into. From an optimistic point of view, you say, what can these guys be? Why not be great? You know, that's kind of how I'm looking at these guys right now. I can't wait to see what they develop into. But you know, it's not going to be. I understand why they're concerned. You know, I get the questions. We're all going to find out real soon, and it will be an ongoing. I think as we go in the season, they're going to continue to get better and better for sure.
John, are Marlon and McCary okay? We can see them out there.
Yes, they are.
I know you've been really high on Zach since you've elevated him to defensive coordinator, but over the course of these 2 preseason games, is there anything that you've kind of learned as he's taken on the new responsibility of play calling? Anything about his management style that struck you?
Yeah, I guess the thing I learned is Zach's not afraid to be who he is. You know, he's just been Zach. He's been who he is. He's genuine. He's not trying to be something that he's not personality-wise. I think that's what endears him to the guys so much. Very smart, very aware, like as we were talking throughout the game. I mean, you had mentioned about the boots and some of the run fits and things like that. You know, when I'd ask him, I'd say, what do you see in there? He was honest. You know, he knew exactly what was going on and where the mistakes and where the good things were. So that was great. I wasn't surprised by that, just as you expected, but he's really on top.
John, have you seen out of Daniel Falele, that right guard that gives you confidence, the strides that he's taken, and maybe what are you looking for in this game specifically in this 3rd preseason?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's done a really good job in terms of pass protection. You know, he's been in front of his guy. There's a lot of technique things. His room for improvement is really vast because he's so talented and he's naturally able to do so many good things. And I think when he takes the next step in terms of like just almost an urgency in the movement that comes with confidence, you're going to see a more physical player because the physicality is there. You know, he's big and he can move and he can bend. He's a powerful man, and he wants to be good. So I think the upside is pretty immense.
John, you guys have a joint practice with the Packers on Thursday, and you've pretty much been doing them yearly for a little bit now. What's the biggest benefit you see with these joint practices?
Well, you know, you have a chance to go against a different style. Like, for instance, their offensive line is an upfield penetrating kind of a defensive line. The defensive line is an upfield penetrating type of a front. They're going to be hitting gaps and getting upfield. We haven't seen that really in the 2 preseason games or in practice, but we are going to see it in the games. The Cowboys are going to do it, for instance. So that's something that we need to get ready for. So there's an opportunity to see a different style that we haven't seen before. Plus just the level of intensity, getting guys locked in and focused at the end of a long camp. There's a benefit in that.
Now, was it a conscious choice by you and LaFleur to just do a 1 day instead of 2?
It was. Yeah. The league's starting to encourage that a little bit too. You know, it seems like, well, I think you're talking about, you know, some competitive human beings, you know, and everybody wants to win all the time. So that practice, you know, intensity gets to a level sometimes where on the second day where it's not as productive as it is on the first day.
All right, John, you said after Saturday's game that Adisa, you rechecked him in a couple of days. Is
that anything to do with this? Or?
Well, yeah, he's got a soft tissue issue again. You know, it's the other leg, but it's not like it was before. It's not the one that's going to keep him out like it was before. So you just got to keep working through this. I mean, Disa, you saw how well he played, right? So it's just a matter of him working into football shape. I think it's just that you think the guy's going to come out and all of a sudden he's healthy and it's like boom, he's going to be 100%. But there's all those practices callous these guys. They get these guys to the point where they can handle the volume, they can handle the load, they can handle the reps, the high level intensity reps, rep after rep. So he's going to work into that. We call it football shape, right? He'll have to work into that, and I'm sure he will.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, guys.
Comfort level do you have in this offense, but also with your new teammates that have been getting over the last few months?
I'm comfortable now. I'm right at home. Training camp is good, and we got a lot better, still getting better, but I'm comfortable and right at home.
Did you want to have any, in this practice with the Packers or in one of these games, do you feel like a couple of hits just to get ready for the season, or are you like, no, I'm good, I've done that for 10 years, I don't need it?
Are you saying
like real contact?
Like playing in a game?
Yeah, or like in this practice there might be some real contact.
Yeah, I'm sure real scrimmage against those guys. Get some good contact in as far as going against their defense. As far as the game, I haven't played a preseason game back since 2018, so I think it's worked out pretty well. So I feel pretty good about it.
Derrick, regarding those joint practices or practice, how do you approach that? I mean, do you look forward to? I mean, it's going to be one day that you're going to go against an opposition. Do you look forward to that? What are you trying to get out of it?
But I think it's fun. I mean, we're going against one another for about a month now, so we'll get to know the jersey, get to practice against another team, see some different looks, kind of give us a good look to see how far we are and things we can work on as an offense going against a different team. So it's fun and it's some good work. So.
Derrick, in terms of the mesh point with Lamar and some of the read options that he's run in past years, how facile do you think you guys will be in terms of handling that? We haven't really seen it so far.
I mean, we work on it out here, and if there's anything we need to talk about amongst each other, then we do that. And just going through it out here, learning the plays and getting the feel for it, and execute. So it's the big thing, just making it work. So.
How's it feel just in practice when you're running behind pass guard?
Oh, I mean, that's something I look forward to. So anytime 4-2 is in front of me, I'm comfortable, I'm good. Gotta make something happen.
Derrick, you just had a back to school event. I know you do things back where you're from, but how did it feel to get out into the Baltimore community and start making your mark in that way?
Yeah, I was happy to, and I'm blessed to do those type of things. Just wanted to get my hands in the community early, and I reached out to the organization to see where I could help. And they felt like that was a good area. I'm glad I was able to go out there and help those kids and be able to give them some tools to be prepared for the school year. And looking forward to doing more.
Some of these community events, does it give you a feeling for how excited the community in Baltimore is to see you debut as a Raven?
Yeah, definitely. They love their football, so I love that. So I'm excited to see their excitement, for sure.
You feel that you're more frequently playing out of pistol or shotgun formations than you had in years prior, and is there nuances to that you can describe as challenging to learn, or what is kind of the feeling?
No, not at all. I ran a pistol before, in Tennessee, I ran a shotgun. My biggest thing is doing my job effectively and being efficient.
Is there any part of you that's kind of itching at this point to see what it looks like in a real game with a new team? Do you have a good idea of what that's going to look like come week one, or are there still questions kind of in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely excited to play and can't wait until that time comes. But it's all about polishing and getting everything down and continue to get better until that time comes. But I'm sure everybody's out here fishing to get to week one for sure.
You're not out here stiff arming your teammates.
No, I don't do that.
How do you practice your stiff armor? Is that just completely natural?
Yeah, I think it comes natural. I've been doing since I started playing ball, and it's gotten more effective. The higher I went, the more I've elevating my game is from high school, college to pro. So I think it's something that's natural, but I'm going to do it to my teammates.
Is there anybody on the Ravens you'd like to stiff arm though?
No, not at all. No. We had some good battles through the years, so I think that's done and over with.
Derrick, have the coaches told you guys that they expect you to ride bikes to the practicing Green Bay out there?
You know, they haven't told us about it, but I mean, I saw it on Instagram. I mean, I've seen it through the years. That's their tradition. But if we have to, I think the kids are involved. So if it's a kid, I don't care. You know, I love doing something like that, especially with kids.
You ride bikes?
I haven't in a while, so I might be a little rusty. The kids might have to help me stay balanced. But no, I should be fine. So it seems like something fun they do, you know, for the community and kids. So I have no problem with it.
Thanks, Derrick.
You know, be out doing what you love to do after having to lead so long.
Yeah, there's no better feeling, honestly. You know, that's what I do for a living. I enjoy it. I love competing. And, you know, to be out here with the best of the best, man, you know, it's a dream come true yet again.
Has it surprised you that you've been able to come out and look like yourself again right away? Certainly from what we've seen after going through such a tough journey to get to this point.
Nah, it doesn't surprise me because I know the type of player I am, you know, and you just gotta go out there and, you know, put it on tape, honestly, you know, and I know the work I put in too, you know, so, you know, the work always comes to life.
It took a while last year before we found out that you weren't going to be able to play for the rest of the year. Could you take us a little bit through, you know, the steps of you know, what it was like to kind of maybe try to keep hope alive as long as possible and hold out hope that you were going to play last year?
Yeah. So it just started off as a sprained ankle, got rolled up on in an indie game, and then just some swelling came up in my knee, and no one really knew what was going on. So we just wanted swelling to go down, and then we got an MRI, and we just, you know, made the best medical decision. You know, I definitely could have played, but for the long run, you know, career-wise, and just, you know, for my best interest, team's best interest, you know, just go ahead and get it fixed so I can be back 100% like I am now.
Were there days when it was tough to keep your spirits up? Because, I mean, 2 years in a row, you can't play the way that you want to. And kind of who helped you through that?
Oh, man, just stay prayed up. I have a very strong family. You know, I have a good, you know, base on here. You know, Dafe, it's like my brother. Beaks, like my brother. So I live through them. You know, just them three things, man. You know, God, family, friends. Like, I really honed in on that. And then, of course, the work, man. You know, nothing comes easy. So I just put my head down and work. That's all I know. So, and I'm right back.
Talk a little bit about your work maybe with Chuck Smith and developing a pass rush plan. We saw a great spin move the other night. Maybe you can take us through that and give us a little inside football.
Yeah, man, Chuck, man, that's the guru. You know, he really knows what he's talking about. You know, everything he says comes to light, you know, regarding just moves to use, when to use it, how to use it. And we're all just good listeners, honestly, you know, because, you know, we'll look over to him on the sideline, you know, in practice, and he'll really walk us through a move to do on the sideline. We execute it, ends up working, you know. So, you know, it's just a testament to him and his knowledge and how he passes it down to all of us. And it's working.
Maybe any keys you work off on that spin move specifically that you're looking for the opponent to do something before you.
So yeah, I just edge. I was working him edge a lot, and got a good get off pressure on the left side. So I knew, you know, first down, I seen they were in a pass stance. So I know in his mind he's thinking that he's gonna beat on the edge. So as soon as I seen him jump out, let's get him over.
David, what when you're going through this process to get back out here, when did you feel like your old self, I guess, or have you yet, I guess, in terms of your speed and those get off and those sorts of things?
Yeah, so just shout out to the doctors, man, in terms of like the ramp up. You know, there was definitely a slow ramp up leading up to, you know, playing my debut game back. And yeah, every stage of the way I felt as I was supposed to, you know. And like I said, man, just shout out to the doctors, the training staff, man, they got me right.
Do you feel like you're 100%?
Yes, sir, man.
Was the original projection for you to play the first preseason game? Was that kind of what you were hoping? Or did you get news that more medical cleared? And was that part of the process initially?
that you gotta ask the doc, my surgeon, all that. You know, I just do as I'm told, and they had a plan in place. I know that for sure. And I was clear for the second game. I went out and did my thing.
You talked about making the decision that in the best interest of the team and of yourself to go ahead and have a surgery last year. How hard of a deliberation was that for you personally, considering you'd already missed your rookie year?
Yeah, man, it was tough. You know, like I said, it's what I do for a living. So to not be able to do that, you know, and kind of being out of your control, that's why you just lean on God, you know, your family, you know, and people around you. You just know that everything will work out for good.
David, even though, you know, it's been a long 2 years of recovery, the Ravens, if you look at the roster, I mean, they still have a lot riding on you being very successful this year. What does it mean to you that the team keeps the expectations high for your performance?
Yeah, man, there's no better feeling than that. You know, we all want to be, you know, feel like we're special, feel like, you know, we're dependent on, and, you know, it's on me to put in the work to make that, you know, vision come to life. So it's a blessing, man. You know, everybody wants to be wanted, you know, and to know that this team wants me and wants me to be successful, you know, it's a blessing.
David, obviously you have a lot of confidence in yourself, but knowing how hard you worked to get back, how much did you need to see tangible results from all that hard work like you did on Saturday?
Yeah, man, I mean, I just control what I can. You know, the way I practice very hard, you know, the way I study very hard, I expect it to translate to the field. So, you know, I just, what I can control is, you know, the practice field, you know. I go out there, do my thing, and then come game day, just let it loose, and the results will be.
David, if you see almost any national prediction about what the Ravens are going to be like this year, strengths and weaknesses, most will say pass rush. That's a question mark. What's your reaction to that?
Man, I'm focused on the Ravens, you know, and just what we got in here. There's a lot of noise outside that I can't control. You know, Coach Harbaugh can't control. You know, so to whoever said that, you know, that's their opinion. You know, we just control what we can, work hard every day in practice, and, you know, it'll take care of itself.
David, when we watch you practice, it's obvious how much fun that you're having out on the practice field. Has the injuries impacted that? Did that give you a different appreciation of the game?
Yeah, man. Honestly, just kind of, like I said, having my brothers like Dafe and Beast, you know, Trav, like, I was living through them, you know. I couldn't do it myself, so I knew that when I came back, you know, I'm going to cherish every moment. You know, you really never know when it's going to be your last, you know. Testament to even Zio, our coordinator. You know, he just had a year of his life. You know, you never know when it's going to be your last snap, so just cherish every moment. You know, I'm in a very blessed position playing the NFL for one of the best organizations. So, you know, every day I'm out here, man, just smiling through it, just making my best day.
Thanks, David.